Hey, this is Devin with Kast Gear. Today we're going to be tying a CDC Dominator. This is a fly I started tying back in Colorado. It's a great all-around pattern. You can fish it as an emerger, as a dry, as a cripple, just depending upon how you trim your CDC hackle. So after wrapping our thread down the shank of the hook, we're going to take our next step. We're going to tie in some tail fibers. So normally I use Coq de Leon for the tail. For whatever reason, I can't seem to find mine today. So we're going to use a pheasant tail fiber, which is just fine. Capture that up the hook shank to where you're going to tie in the CDC. And then I take this tag that I left and I run it in between the two tail fibers and wrap it off. And so what that does is that allows me to split them. So this thing sits up high on the water if I fish it as a dry fly. Kind of see that there. So bring my thread back down the body. So a little trick that I started doing, because I love how buyouts look, I just don't like tying with them all that much, is taking a black Sharpie or a sepia colored Sharpie and I color my thread so I can create a nice rib on this fly, and it looks like a biot body. Okay, just like that. Now I'm gonna let this kind of unspin here. So the next step is we're gonna take some high quality CDC plumes or CDC fibers, feathers, and we're going to put them in our Petagene magic tool. Now I'll do a video on how this tool works if you haven't seen it before. If you have, you know how amazing it is. So once you pop it in here, trim off those, take our fibers, and what that does is it just separates the stem of this CDC material from the rest of the hackle fibers, so you don't have any buildup. It keeps this fly really, really light and airy, like so. So next step is we're going to take and we're going to split this 140. You can split 70, 140 just seems to be the easier of the two. So once I've split that, I slip that CDC in there. I'm going to go ahead and spin it up. Like so. Now, I'm going to over hackle this just so it can float really, really high. And I love how CDC looks. So I'll pick some of these fibers out. Okay. Once I get done there, I'm going to go ahead and whip finish this off. And trim my thread. Now, a lot of the time I just leave this fly just like this, put it in my box, and I'll fish it, you know, as a cripple or an emerger or something like that. But, you know, I think we'll trim it up just so you can kind of see how the dry fly looks. Literally, just stick your scissors in there and trim the bottom of those hackle fibers off. It's going to sit nice and flush on the water. Really looks buggy, and the fish love it. And that is a CDC Dominator.